A lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
We even got Kevin try to turn on his camera. That's amazing, huh?
It's good to see you, Coach.
How come he turned on his camera? Huh? Life ain't tough without having to look at him. Huh?
Turn it off.
Life ain't tough enough. I have to look at you now too as this goes on. All right, let's go.
Hey, Gerald, how important was it to get this game against Pueblo tomorrow for you guys?
How important was it? Very important, because right now we haven't played since the 13th, and tomorrow we're going to play the 24th, so that's 13 days out there without playing. And I know the Mountain West is supposed to release some information later this afternoon about what our schedule might look like going forward. So without knowing what that looks like, who knows when we would play again, or, maybe with their scheduling, if we're going to play again until tournament. So, yeah, it was very fortunate for us to get this game. We tried to get some games, and I'm just happy that, Pueblo had an opening last minute and agreed to come up and play. So looking forward to it.
What have you guys been doing over the last week and a half or so?
Practicing, taking some days off. This what you do. I mean, that's, had a couple days off over the weekend and then came back yesterday with our, I think we took, I don't even know today. We took Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, came back yesterday with a pretty sharp practice, and then didn't know we were going to play until after the end of that practice. But, that's what you do. Practice, take some days off, and let him get caught up in school.
Hey, Coach, this is Chris Sylvester from the Mountain West Network. I'll be doing the game tomorrow night. Your three seniors that you're going to honor as part of a senior night, have they made a decision on their future, or is this for sure going to be their last year playing college basketball?
This is it for them. We'll have one young lady who, because of the COVID situation, Emily Buchanan, who has been doing her student teaching this semester and hasn't been able to be with us for this semester just because of the COVID protocols and the testing protocols, but she'll finish up her degree and be a great teacher going forward. Jay Johnson will also be finishing up, and she's going to look to go to graduate school possibly, and she wants to dabble in coaching, she thinks right now, but we're going to work with that. And then Diney is, Diney had a great interview last week with the company back in Iceland, and we're waiting to her to hear back from that. So future looks bright for those guys.
Gerald, how do you kind of prepare for a team like this on such short notice? Do you even prepare? I mean, what's the process like?
What do you mean, do we even prepare? Of course we prepare. Come on, man. I guess that's why we get paid, is to prepare. Well, it is what I did last night is obviously as soon as we found out that we had a game, tried to grab some film from them. That's the good thing about technology. There's a lot of film out there, resources that we have. Grabbed a couple games so we would have an idea, met with the staff this morning. Everybody grabbed a different game. We're going to come back here and meet as soon as I'm done with this, and, pick 3 or 4 things that we're going to try to see if we can see if our kids can recognize it when they're happening with sets and stuff. And then a lot of it, Robert, you're right. A lot of it at this point of the season, whether it's these guys or New Mexico or whatever, you just have to, by this time, you have to rely on, what we call our principles, our rules, that's a good thing about motion. There's not a lot of, if they switch us, you just change your cuts, you try to get better reads, you do a few things. And, defensively, I think we're at a pretty good place defensively, where now you just have to let your rules take over for you. And, hopefully you can get most of their stuff handled.
Hey, coaches, has the Mountain West given you any indication if you will have any games next week? Or
not yet. That's supposed to be released this afternoon. I think Tim told me that, they're going to release their new schedule next week. And I don't know what that's going to look like, to be honest with you. we've been very fortunate, knock on wood, we've been very fortunate that we've gotten 16 of our 18 conference games in. There's other teams right now that might only have 12. I think New Mexico might only have 8 or 10 or something like that, maybe 8. So, I can't, I hope we play, but if we don't, I understand because, I think that I think if I was making decisions, I would try to get as many people with these makeup games as close to 16 games at least as possible. So, you don't have somebody finishing with 12, somebody finishing with 14. And I would at least try to go, hey, you know what, if we can get to 16, that kind of gives you a better sense of where everybody's at and what to do. But, we'll see what's released this afternoon and then we'll go forward from there.
Gerald,
Go ahead, Kevin.
if you knew that you were going to play next week, would you have still scheduled Pueblo?
Yes. Yeah. We need to play. I mean, like I said, we've already been off 11 or 12 days, without a game. And, one of the things you talk about is trying to get into a routine at this time of the year. And that really breaks up your routine. Thought we were playing really well over our last 6 games. Going to be interested to see how we bounce back, first time on the court again. But, I know we'll play hard. Let's see how sharp we are. So we would try to play without any doubt. We were looking for games, way before this, just even if we just played our regular games with New Mexico, we were going to try to get something in that last week so we wouldn't have such a long layover. But yeah, so we'll see. Maybe there might still be some other options, but we'll just have to see what happens with the new schedule.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, Gerald. If the Mountain West comes out and you don't get that New Mexico series made up, would you try and maybe get another game in before the conference tournament?
Yeah, we'll try. It's really, really hard. And teams all around us and teams at various levels, they're all, fighting their own battles, whether they're trying to make up games themselves or whether they, got a couple of injuries down the stretch, or in some cases where they're actually looking at just, being done. And, it's been a long, hard year mentally and physically, and, they just want to be done. So we'll try. Don't know if that will happen, but we'll try. So that's why this one is so very important to us, because even if we don't play until next week against New Mexico, that would have been a 3-week layoff, before you go in and play them. Now, at least you get something else in between there without, your players is playing against your players. And so I think very important, and we'll see going forward what happens.
Gerald, you talked about, and everybody likes to talk about, staying physically ready, but how much do you worry about the mental toll that such a layoff amongst this crazy season can take on your players being out of action so long?
I worry about that quite a bit, and that's one of the reasons I thought more so than physically. Physically you can do things to try to keep yourself in shape. Now you might not be playing sharp, but you can get in shape. But mentally, it's really hard, especially with this year, because right now, like I said, with Key's question, what have we been doing? Well, we've been practicing and going to class and catching up on class. And, I'm really proud of what our women do academically. I mean, they are traditionally very high achieving people. They're great students. And right now they've got a lot of stress on them academically with where they're at. And, some things are coming due. And so when you talk about the mental stress of it, I'm going to try today to get them back, their mindset a little bit more toward competing in a game than worrying about the test on Wednesday that they might be missing and have to make up on Thursday. And so that becomes sometimes tough too mentally. But, our kids, I have to give them, like I told them, we played 20 games, I think, or something like that. They've come and played hard every game. Now, we're not always great, but we've played hard, and I don't doubt that will continue. Tomorrow, I think they'll come. They'll give me everything they have, and then I think as the game goes, I think mentally they'll get more into it and start playing a little bit sharper. Anybody else? Anything?
I think I'm good.
Thanks,
I'm good.
coach.
All right. Thanks, guys. That was great. Thank you. Don't
Thank
get
you.
blown,
See you.
don't get blown away out there.
Thanks,
No
Coach.
kidding.